Next 30 minutes on the marketplace, President Akufo-Addo charges lawyers and other corporate entities to halt evading taxes, threaten sanctions against corporates.
It is embarrassing. The lawyers are often at the top of the list of those who flout our tax laws and use their expertise to avoid paying taxes.
Also, shipping lines and Ghana Shippers Authority agree on a 5% increase in freight costs for shipment of cocoa from Ghana.
Look at what the bunker prices are, what freight rates are, conditions locally, in both ports, and then we come to a certain level of rates that are agreeable to both parties, because the lines will want to carry it at a profit. Of course, we also, as Ghana, want to ensure that our cocoa is carried in the best condition.
Plus, the Ghana Union of Traders Association appeals for shop closures of foreign retailers as the Nigerian traders reject special dispensation from government. We have the latest in all these stories coming up shortly after this break. Also later in the bulletin, scores of patrons who thronged the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair expressed immense satisfaction with the organizer Multimedia Group Limited for making their dreams of owning houses a reality. My name is Charles Aite. Let's settle for the details of the stories now. To our first story, President Akufo-Addo has warned against the evasion of taxes by lawyers in the country. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, has defended some lawyers for their inability to pay the appropriate taxes to the state, blaming the issue on the Ghana Revenue Authority and its systems. But speaking at the Bar Conference in the Upper East region, Godfred Yeboah-Dame called on the GRA to develop more user-friendly and effective means or initiatives that will ensure that all professions, including the bar, are able to file their tax obligations. Speaking at the same conference, meanwhile, the president warned that lawyers and other corporate entities found culpable of evading taxes won't be spared.
The professions in our country have not been known to set a good example when it comes to paying taxes. They appear to think that being members of the learned professions put them above complying with everyday civic duties, like paying taxes. It is embarrassing. The lawyers are often at the top of the list of those who flout our tax laws and use their expertise to avoid paying taxes. The Ghana Revenue Authority has told a disturbing story about what it discovered earlier this year when it started working with the Registrar General's Department and the National Identification Authority. It found that there are some 60,000 professionals working in the country who are totally outside the purview of the tax authorities. These professionals are lawyers. They are accountants, they are doctors, they are engineers, they are surveyors, they are architects. In other words, they are part of the crème de la crème of Ghanaian society, and they do not pay taxes. They will soon be receiving friendly phone calls from the tax authority. I sincerely hope that those involved would move swiftly to regularize their tax affairs before the GRA moves to crack the whip.
And that's President Akufo-Addo there. Well, barely a day after the issuance of the 6-year bond was subscribed by 24%, the weekly Treasury bill sale to domestic investors, however, fell short of its target by about 8.8%, indicating some level of liquidity challenge, but not alarming. Charles Nixon Yeboah has been looking into these auction results and has more.
The slight reduction in the sale of the short-term instrument may also be due to government's position of keeping interest yields lower in order to reduce the cost of servicing the debt instrument going forward. Indeed, the interest cost fell by 100 basis points or 0.01% from the previous week's trading to 12.45 and 13.21% respectively for the 91-day and 182-day T-bills. Though the economy continues to expand following easing of COVID-19 restrictions, there appears to be some challenges in the fiscal economy. This comes after international ratings agency Moody's last week reviewed Ghana's ratings to B3 and investment outlook negative. It attributed the ratings to high debt burden, liquidity challenges, among others. Nonetheless, there is still some interest in financial instruments because investors, largely banks, perceive the government instrument as risk-free. According to the trading figures, government mobilized 1.25 billion cedis from the sale of the short-term instruments. And for the first time in a long time, the 182-day bill was subscribed more than the 3-month bill.
Now, after a lengthy discussion with 26 shipping lines which participated in the 2021-2022 cocoa feed negotiations with the Cocoa Marketing Company, as well as the Ghana Shippers Authority, the rate of freight for shipment of cocoa will see an upward adjustment of 5% for the next cocoa crop season. The agreement was reached after several considerations were discussed among the parties in Accra, including container shortages and charter rates adjustment. Meanwhile, in a related development, the Ghana Shippers Authority has vowed to protect the shipment of cocoa from pirate attacks. The Chief Executive, Benonita Bismarck, told Joy Business at the Cocoa Feed Conference that her outfit, together with other relevant authorities, have given attention to the commodity to ensure that the country does not lose its economic benefits. She's been speaking about conditions for the new rate as well.
The idea is to ensure some level of predictability so that once we agree the freight, the cocoa that is carried is at the level, the freight rates that are carried. So there's no level of shock from anybody trying to introduce things that have not been agreed on. So it's not only the rates, but we look at the conditions of carriage as well. What you need, particularly if, say, it's a container, what you need to use to dress the container, because the beans have to be carried in a certain level of climate or temperature, to ensure that it doesn't go bad. So all those things where you lift the container from the quality of the container, they have to be food-grade containers. So all of these things are things that we talk about and agree. So that once we agree, it is the conditions that regulate the whole year, the season, 2021, 2022. Those are the conditions that regulate the whole year's carriage of cocoa. So that is the reason why we're here today. And we had the Honorable Minister coming as the guest of honor. We also have the Deputy MD of Cocoa Board. Cocoa Board is the main organization that handles our cocoa. CMC is the technical wing of Cocoa Board. And we work very closely with them. We do a lot of research. We look at what the bunker prices are, what freight rates are, conditions locally, in both ports. And then we come to a certain level of rates that are agreeable to both parties, because the lines will want to carry it at a profit. Of course, we also, as Ghana, want to ensure that our cocoa is carried in the best conditions, but we're not paying the highest rates. We are not diddled out of rates. So this is the reason why we're doing that. And we also know that the price of cocoa has gone down. So all of these things must inform the decision that we come to at the end of the day. It's a negotiation. We are not just going to say this is what we're doing. Based on what they have submitted to us earlier, we look at it, we listen to all of them, they pitch, and then we research again, and then at the end of the evening, we will announce what the rates will be for the year that is ensuing.
Is security likely to play a role in this negotiation? I'm asking that due to the amount of pirates being recorded on the Gulf of Guinea recently.
Well, definitely. I mean, the piracy in the Gulf of Guinea is something that is of high concern to the whole maritime industry. That is the remit of the GMA. In fact, this morning, I was with the Minister of Transport, and he mentioned that. So definitely, anybody calling our shores is mindful of that. It shows that insurance may go up at the end of the day. But then, that is why for cocoa, we sort of ring fence it and then look at it with different lenses, so to speak. It is not subjected to the other vagaries like other things are. Cocoa is of prime importance to us as a country.
Well, the shipping agents and freight forwarders have renewed the call for the Ghana Shippers Authority to call the shipping lines to order or face their wrath. According to the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, the unapproved fees, which includes container cleaning fees, that's the container cleaning fees, administrative charges, and other levies paid by agents at the port, is making business at the port unattractive. The vice chairman of the institute, Johnny Marte, told Joy Business that the shipping lines have failed to abide by the rules of the port and must be dealt with. Johnny Marte is on Zoom to tell us more about some of the concerns as freight forwarders and agents at the port are concerned. We're grateful that you could join us. First of all, what is causing the shipping lines to charge some of these unapproved fees? If you could kindly unmute so we could hear you better.
Can you hear me now?
You're loud and clear.
Yeah.
All right. So the question to you is that what could be informing the increase in these charges?
Thank you once again. These charges have always they are charges that we've always agitated about. We call them illegal. The Shippers Authority, in its wisdom, was also written to these lines to withdraw these charges. But for one reason or the other, the lines are adamant, and they are still, surcharging us, not just us, but the consumer on these issues. Of course, some of these charges that we've mentioned are the cleaning fees. We talk about container administrative charges, amendment fee, telex fees. But they still persist.
What have been your engagement with the relevant authorities or agencies on this matter?
Thank you. These have been ongoing. I don't know where we've not been. These discussions started way back before our time. It's been going on and on. We've spoken to the shipping lines. We've had engagement with the Shippers Authority. In fact, a petition was even made to the Transport Minister where he referred the issue to the Shippers Authority to deal with it. The Shippers Authority again has written to these lines to stay these charges. Unfortunately, these things still are ongoing, and we would be seeking redress on these matters.
And speaking of redress, how do you intend to deal with these matters once and for all from your body perspective?
In fact, what we had, the plan was to go to the Shippers Authority to present a petition to them again, to act on the letters and authority mandated by law to them to ensure that these charges are stayed, because they have written to the lines for the lines to stay the charges, to withdraw those charges. This action was supposed to have taken off on the 16th. However, our president has said, this is not an issue that we can deal with alone. He wants all the associations on board. He wants the GUTES, the AGIs, and every team on board. They are all on board, but a proper strategy has to be implemented. Of course, as we speak, my president is meeting with a couple of lawyers as we speak today with other association leaders and seeing the way forward on this matter. This matter will be dealt with. We are not going to stop at it. If they are illegal, at the end of the day, it's the consumer that suffers, and it has to be rerun.
Great, and we shall be keeping an eye on this for updates. Johnny Marte, we're grateful that you could join us. He's Vice Chairman of the Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders. You're still watching The Marketplace with me, Charles Aite. To other stories, the government will soon launch the Aquaculture for Food and Jobs initiative, an initiative similar to the Planning for Food and Jobs. This initiative will seek to increase domestic fish production and create jobs along the aquaculture value chain. According to the Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture, Howard Komson, the program is near completion and will cover 13 regions. They include the Ahafo, Ashanti, Oti, and Upper East regions. She was speaking at the minister's press briefing yesterday.
Tilapia and catfish are the dominant species in aquaculture production. Aquaculture operators are organized into small scale, less than 50 metric tons per year, medium scale, 50 to 100 metric tons per year, and large scale, above 100 metric tons per year, with the small scale dominating in terms of numbers. Government's vision is therefore to transform and grow the aquaculture subsector to increase domestic fish production, reduce fish imports, and create job opportunities of the aquaculture for food and jobs, AFG, improving the production and supply of good quality fingerlings, provision of extension services, provision of infrastructure, hatcheries, and essential aquaculture inputs. The ministry has been implementing its flagship program, Aquaculture for Food and Jobs, AFJ, initiative, which was piloted and fully rolled out in 2020. The implementation of the AFJ is aimed at increasing domestic fish production and creating job opportunities along the aquaculture value chain, particularly for the youth. The AFJ currently covers 13 regions, namely Ahafo, Ashanti, Bono East, Central, Eastern, Greater Accra, Oti, Upper East, Upper West, Volta, Western and Western North. In the coming days, the ministry will distribute over 17,000 bags of feed to beneficiaries of AFJ program.
Well, in a related development, the minister also indicated that processes have been begun to digitize trading of premixed fuel to address the challenge of hoarding. Well, moving on to other stories, the host and producer of the Ghanaian Farmer TV reality show, Enyonam Manye, says the government should extend the needed support to peasant farmers to help them minimize post-harvest losses and make agric attractive to the youth. She spoke to Joy Business at the back of her one-year anniversary of the Ghana Farmer reality show. Here's more.
The Ghanaian Farmer is an agric-focused TV program that seeks to highlight the ordeals of Ghanaian farmers and help them with the needed support. Producer and host of the TV show, Enyonam Manye, says the program has greatly impacted peasant farmers in various parts of the country.
So far, all the farmers we have interviewed, most of them, one of the key things they were looking forward to was getting investors, both locally and internationally. And as I speak to you, we have managed to connect about close to 20 farmers, so business people who are outside Ghana and wanting to invest into the agriculture space, which has been a great testimony because most of these farmers, one key thing they always ask is funding, access to funding, or even investors who give them money. And that is what our platform has been able to do, to connect this number of farmers to people, Ghanaians who are abroad and want to go into farming. Secondly, it also given us the platform to also create a marketing and also a source of platform to enable farmers to talk about the challenges they are going through.
Enyonam Manye is, however, calling for government support in addressing major challenges facing the sector.
There's a watermelon farmer who is looking for markets to sell, and it is not so easy for them. So they are dealing with post-harvest losses. Aside that, irrigation. You would understand or agree with me that from last year to this year, the rain pattern has been a very difficult one. And so just imagine farmers who do not have irrigation on their farms. And these farmers, again, are the peasant farmers. They can't afford irrigation. And so I came across a farmer in Adan, the same Adan, who has to use gallon, the Kufuor gallon, to fetch water before going to, water the crops. I think I'll call on government to take a critical look at the irrigation aspect, the marketing aspect, the warehousing aspect, so that farming will be a lot of fun. Like we are saying, we are asking the youth to venture into farming. But how will the youth go into farming and find it more relaxing, very smooth, if these basic things are not available?
The Ghanaian Farmer is celebrating 1 year of production and impact. Enyonam Manye says viewers should expect more compelling and insightful content in the coming days.
We have a lot of things that we are going to roll out. Aside as our initiative Support the Farmer, we have a project or another initiative called Top 50 Ghanaian Farmers. And this initiative seeks to also project corporate people, celebrities who are into agriculture but are not known, including our own farmers. We are not just doing this, people, but we are going to do a profiling as a way of motivating, like the government is motivating others to, if someone gets to know that a KMJ into farming, a Kwesi Ernest who is a music producer is into farming, a J Foley is into farming, it's encouraging. For youth who is in the house, you saw what happened at the YEA recently. The number of youth the stampede over there. But if they get to see these dignitaries or personalities, the Agric Minister himself is also a farmer, he would interest you to know, they would be encouraged to go in. So that is what the top 50 farmers seeks to do. And we have something very big in stock for extension officers.
Well, scores of patrons who thronged the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair mini clinic have expressed immense satisfaction with the organizer, the multimedia group, for making their dreams of owning houses a reality. Now, the event, which was the first of 3 mini clinics before the main event in October, drew several thousands of patrons from afar and near to the Achimota Retail Centre, where various real estate developers and those in the housing value chain exhibited their products. For many of them, the clinic afforded them the opportunity to take the first step towards owning their dream homes. The following report has more.
Right, so it's been 2 exciting days of exhibition, networking, and a platform for vendors to advertise their wares. This has been a one-stop shop for all your construction and housing needs. Right, so I've been speaking to some vendors here, and they say that this is a great platform for them to showcase their wares and make contact in preparation for the main fair that's going to happen in October.
So taking Joy Habitat Fair is a great platform for us to be able to market our products and to reach out to millions of consumers outside there. Yeah.
In fact, it is very true because we've been part of this program over the years, and then it has yielded a lot of results, if I might confess. Even we started today, we're getting a lot of calls saying that, okay, we've heard that you are hosting the program here. So it's going to help. And since we have that experience that it's been helpful, yeah, that expectation is there.
Well, I think it's given us the publicity. It helps us promote our business and our brand. And it's people keep on, coming in and out just because of they heard us from multimedia or they watched our videos online. So it's been encouraging, and I think it's been good.
It has been good. It has been great. The response is very positive.
Right.
Yeah. We have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. We have flat for them. We have detached houses, semi-detached houses, and all our detached houses are expandable. When you go for 1 bedroom, at the end of the day, we'll add 1 to it for you. So that is the +1 promo we are doing.
Well, some customers as well are excited about the offers that are in store, the discounts and all of that. They tell me that this has been an exciting one, and they look forward to the other mini clinics of the EcoBank JoyNews Habitat Fair.
So I'm very impressed because always we talk about the housing sector having a deficit of over 2 million housing deficit. So a program like this is very essential to be able to bring industry players in the sector to discuss housing and how we can bring down the housing deficit. So I'm very impressed with this program that has taken place.
Right. Looking for affordable land or house, and then how the prices are, and see the terms and conditions for payments. At least if somebody that I'm starting life afresh, I can own a land or a house and then also pay in a bit way that it will not be that difficult for me. So at the end, I will see that I'm owning my own house.
My name is Stella Sogijejom for Joy Business.
Well, of course, away from that, the former Minister for Railway Development, Joe Garte, is charging universities across the country to explore the environment and make entrepreneurs out of the students they churn out each and every year. According to him, the country can only make progress if the universities do not become places where certificates are handed to students who will be yearning to be employed instead of employing people. Speaking at the 2nd edition of the Africa's Biggest Idea Challenge of the University of Cape Coast, Joe Garte intimated the narrative of graduate unemployment could change if universities become entrepreneurially minded. Richard Kojonyako has more in this report.
Over 100 students picked forms to take part in the Ideas and Entrepreneurship Challenge. After grueling encounters and showcasing, 11 were picked from the lot and competed for the top spot of 10,000 Ghana cedis and other mouth-watering startup packages. Addressing the students, former Railway Development Minister Joe Garte called on the universities to focus on entrepreneurship to bring out students that could build the country with their ideas and resources.
The public sector cannot create enough jobs in a short while. I'm associated with another program in UPSA. It means that the universities and the youth of the day understand that the spirit of entrepreneurship should start from now. Our universities and our institutes of higher education cannot be simply institutes or places for research and places for degrees and places where you get qualifications. They are places which must open your mind and allow you to explore around you and around the country and to take advantage of the situation that we are in. Don't forget that the richest people in this world, the billionaires, a lot of them were your age when they started. And so I like your ideas because there's a famous saying that you think big, but you start small.
Professor of Finance and Entrepreneurship at the University of Cape Coast, Professor Daniel Ejapon, indicated the management of the University of Cape Coast has entrepreneurship at its heart, and their desire is to make the university an entrepreneurial one. The university, he indicated, has made a policy to show its commitment to pursue entrepreneurship by changing the narrative about university education. Through that policy, students who have ideas are supported by the university to nurture them.
The COVID-19 pandemic actually exposed us to the fact that we cannot continuously live on aid. We cannot continue to live on goods and services that are produced elsewhere. And we were aware that the borders were closed. No one was going and no one was coming in. We couldn't import any goods. Of course, services, we use the digital means of importing certain services. So the time is now. We are much more open to a lot of partnership with students. So for those of you with a lot of ideas or very fantastic ideas like we've heard today, we are much more open for our partnerships.
Outgoing SRC President of UCC, Christopher Datson, says the continuous reliance on foreign aid cannot be attributed to government alone, but individuals have a part to play as well.
And that'll be it for the marketplace. I'm Charles Aite. For more news, you log on to myjoyonline.com, where you could get updates on matters regarding business. You could see there the Ghana-Nigeria trade feud. Guta calls for resumption of closures of shops belonging to undocumented foreign nationals. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.